You're fired. The two words that nobody wants to hear, whether you work at Walmart or any other carrier. We've had a few people over the years that have heard that. Luckily, I'm not one of them, at least not yet. So, over 17 years that I've worked here, I've seen a few people get fired, and I gotta say, everybody that got fired, it was a justified reason. It wasn't an unfair thing or somehow they got done wrong. And the thing is online when I read comments on videos and read, articles and things, a lot of times it says, oh, well, Walmart driver unfairly got fired or, didn't do anything wrong and that kind of thing. And I'm not saying that never happens. Maybe it does happen. I'm sure it does somewhere. But I can say this, I've never seen it in Red Bluff in 17 years. And just recently, there was one of our drivers that basically collabed with another YouTuber, and they put one of our broadcasts that's on our Qualcomm, I guess you call it. In the broadcast, it said, there was a driver. They had a bad mud flap, or missing mud flap, or damaged, or something, and they never said that person was fired over that. They just said if you were to not report that damage, you could get fired. And of course, everybody in the comments turned it into, oh, well, Walmart driver got fired over a mud flap, which was not true. Fact of the matter is that when you don't report damage or you try to keep something secret or hide something that you've done or found, it's dishonest. It's called integrity. And you're not getting fired over a mud flap. You're getting fired over how you handled a situation. But with that being said, like I said, over the years, we've had a few people get fired. We had one guy back when we used to have a cell phone policy, which we don't anymore. But back then we did. And you were allowed to talk while driving on the driving line 10 minutes at a time, altogether 60 minutes in a day. You could talk all you want on duty or off duty or, I guess, sleeper berth. I mean, as long as you're in the sleeper, you could talk all you want. But the driving line, when your log is on the driving line, it's down to that. And if you get in an accident, they would check your records, or you'd have to give them your records. And then if you broke those rules, then it was decided, according to that. And so we had a driver, and he was on the phone. He had like a little bender thing. I don't even know if he hit anybody. He might have just hit like a yellow pole or something. I can't remember. It was minor. And so they were like, oh, okay, were you on the phone? And I think he said, yeah, I was on the phone. And so he gave him his cell phone records, and he had been on the phone with his girlfriend for like 8 hours solid. Like, there might have been one break in there, but overall, basically, they just called each other and left it connected, that's pretty excessive. And so I don't see that really being a problem. But, as usual, people have the stories of, oh, yeah, he was just talking on the phone with his wife, and he got fired over being on the phone. That was the story. And it's like, I know the guy. He was on the phone a long time, period. And that was the rules. So, justified the way I see it, and it is. We had another driver that the snow chains on the rack, there was too many on one rack, and it was starting to sag, and the chains were dragging on the ground. Well, apparently he drove around all day like that, and eventually it caught the tire on fire. That's bad when you have chains dragging on the ground and it catches the tire on fire. You're not paying attention. I mean, you didn't see the smoke, the sparks. There had to have been people pulling up beside him, pointing back at the fire. So, he got fired. Some people were saying, oh no, he, faulty equipment, it wasn't his fault. The thing about people getting fired at Walmart is that generally you don't get the rest of the story, and people very conveniently leave that out. Well, according to the safety guy, yeah, there was a lot more going on than just that. But I mean, that's enough to get someone fired, plain and simple. But you know, I know there was tickets involved. I don't know if he might have done some damage at some point. I don't know. But I know this. I borrowed the guy's truck, and I had seen a ticket in there that he had left in the truck, and it was his ticket. I knew his name, and it had multiple moving violations on it. So, you know, all of that got left out of the story. Nobody got to hear that part, you know. So, I mean, even if this person hadn't have caught the truck on fire, I think he was going to be on his way out anyway. We had another driver that was up camping. He wasn't even working. He was on his little moped. He was at the campsite. He'd been drinking pretty good. Was talking to the camp host. Got in some argument with the camp host. The camp host said, just go back to your campsite and leave us alone. Apparently he wouldn't let it go. So they had to call the ranger on him. He got a DUI on the scooter. Got fired. He may not have been at work drinking or any of that, but you know, DUI for most truck drivers is 0.04, I think. And we have a zero alcohol policy, but I mean, he got a DUI. In your own vehicle, I don't know if you'd get fired if you were below that 0.4 or 0.04 or whatever it is. And another guy where he was hanging out with an outside carrier friend of his. They were in his personal vehicle, the outside carrier personal vehicle, and got pulled over in town there in Red Bluff. Apparently they were pretty drunk. The guy that was the outside carrier, he got a DUI, and then our driver, he didn't get a DUI, he wasn't driving, but he got like a drunk in public and a open container, I don't know what all, everything but a DUI. He got fired. You know, it makes sense to me. You know, you can't go around acting like that, you know, when you get a CDL. But the point is that out of the 17 years that I've been here, there's only been a few people that have been fired. And I've known most of them. And I've never seen somebody get fired unjustly. There was a good reason for it. They broke the rules and that's it. And it wasn't simple or small. It was always something bigger. So, you know, I know that you see all these stories online, YouTube, Facebook, whatever, at these other DCs where they say, oh yeah, unfairly fired, didn't do anything wrong. I'm not saying that couldn't happen. I don't know. I've never worked out those DCs. But I can say with 100% assurity, out of 17 years of working out of Red Bluff, I've never seen anybody get unfairly fired. And by the way, very few people got fired considering how many drivers and how many years went by. So, you know, can you get fired at Walmart? Yeah. These stories I just told you are some of the examples, and I'm sure there's plenty of other ways you can get fired too, you know. So don't believe what you read or hear online about how at a drop of a hat you'll be unfairly fired at Walmart. I can definitely tell you that I've never seen that in all the years I've worked here. So that's my story on it. I hope it helps, and I'll catch you guys later.